Welcome back to the Anything Goes with Jackson Neill podcast here on SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, and YouTube. Thank you for tuning in on whatever platform you like to listen to. Today, I have a really awesome episode. I talked with New Orleans rapper Alfred Banks. He's a really cool hip-hop artist. He just released his brand new EP, Mere Exposure Effect. He has tour dates coming up soon throughout, especially the East Coast of the United States. So if you're on the East Coast, like me here in Philly, better watch out for that. He's going to tell you guys all about his tour dates he has coming up, talk to you about his city, his past project that was based off his brother, and just where he is as an artist right now. It was a really fun conversation I had with Alfred, and I hope you guys enjoy. I want to go back to your past EP, Mere Exposure Effect. What was the process like making that?
That was actually really fast. I wrote it in 24 hours. The guy who produced it, he goes by the name of Malik 95. He just signed to Jet Life, so that's really cool. And I met him because we both did Voodoo Fest down here in New Orleans. And so I ran up on him. I was like, yo, I had already heard about him a bunch. And I'm a very, my mind wanders and it inquires a lot. So I saw his name on the flyer. His name looked cool. I did some research, found out he was from the city, New Orleans, just like I am. Did my research, and I heard his music, and I was like, yo, this dude fly. So I ran up on him like, yo, I would love to, do something with you. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And so he sent me a folder of beats, and I was like 30 beats deep. I picked like the best 5 joints, or the ones that I liked, and I wrote all them joints in like a day, maybe like 36 hours max, but I wrote all of that pretty much in a day. And the recording process was really easy. I record here in New Orleans, a studio called the Hut Studios. My man A. Levy, and I recorded that all maybe like 2 sessions maybe, and only because our computer was messing up is why I didn't knock it all out the first session. So it was very fun. For me, I just came off my album The Beautiful, which is more conceptually driven. It talks about mental health, so it's a little bit more serious. And this one I kind of wanted to be more fun. I wanted to show people that I could make those quote unquote records. You know what I'm saying? I could make music you can just kind of have fun to and not have to think too much about type deal. So just kind of wanted to create like a new vibe, but also wanted to, carry in a little bit of mental health and conceptualizing as well, because the name of the project is called the Mere Exposure Effect, which is a psychological phenomenon that people pick things merely because they're familiar with it. So I kind of wanted to take the sound that kind of everyone's doing right now and kind of put my own spin on it. And the idea it would be my most I would say more successful project because of the sound, and in some ways I was right. So yeah.
Oh wow! So yeah, I was literally about to touch on you just come off The Beautiful, which is such I have it as emotionally and conceptually dense, and just a really big album like that, and you go with this project. I could definitely feel that you just like kind of trying new waters and testing some different stuff out, and I like I liked the how you're able to kind of switch things up a little bit and give people a new perspective on you.
Indeed, man. Yeah, because up until this point, up until The Beautiful, really, a lot of my music, I dabbled a bit into like the more personal stuff, but it was more, hey, yo, I rap really well. Look how well I rap, because I'm a rapper and I rap really well. So a lot of my music was like very one-dimensional in some instances. There's a couple songs here or there that like I did some stuff that went a little bit further. But for The Beautiful, man, losing my brother to schizophrenia, it hit me and it hurt, and so I just wanted to kind of take that hurt and just put it into a record, and it came out incredible, man. No pun intended. It was really beautiful, the response that I got from it. And so I kind of wanted to give my fans like a way to, like a palate cleanser in a sense with the Mere Exposure Effect. I kind of wanted to be something that you can listen to Alfred Banks, and it doesn't have to be, you have to be in a certain mode to hear it, or like kind of in a certain headspace. You can just kind of turn it on while you're getting dressed type deal. You know what I'm saying? Right into the place you're going to, you can kind of bump it in that regard as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and something like you mentioned also, even the name for this is has this kind of has this special meaning to you, and just a special meaning overall. One thing I think is just so cool about a lot of your music, looking through it and doing some research about your music, is how much meaning there is associated with everything. Like even this EP that it's just like you said, music to just go drive your car with or whatever. That still has something with it as well. So I can really start to see that shift in you as an artist to really put a lot of meaning behind your work.
Yeah, no doubt. For me, I live kind of by the idea of whenever I'm old and gray, and if I have kids and if they have kids, I want my grandkids to be proud of the stuff that their grandpa was doing when he was their age. You know what I mean? I always wanted to be able to look back at my career, no matter where I may go, and just say, yo, when I was in my 20s, when I was in my teens, when I was in my 30s, this is what I was making. And for me, that's more important than any amount of success that I may get, my legacy. And, you know, I just want to be proud of my stuff. And so every single thing that I do, I put my all into it. No matter where I was at in the headspace I was at the time making it, I always put my all into it, man, because that's really all we got at the end of the day. And being that music is my way of expressing myself and is going to be the mark that I leave on this world, I just want to be proud of it, and I want my family to be proud of it when I'm no longer here to represent it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, everything I do, it means the world to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really, there's no line I write that's filler. There's no, you know what I mean? Like, it's none of that. So everything I do comes from some place of genuine energy, whatever I put out, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, that brought me back to a quote I saw in an interview you did a little while ago. You know, you're talking to your younger self, just kind of, you told yourself to take your time, just chill out, don't really worry about too much. And I can kind of start to, you know, feel that, where it's, you seem to be very comfortable with where you are in your career, and dropping this EP is, like you said, like a palate cleanser for your fans. It's this cool spot I think you're in, where you're able to have these meaningful projects and also drop the other kind of music you want in between.
Yeah, of course, man. I think with my fans, especially with me changing my name, I changed my name back in 2014. I used to go by another name, and when I changed my name, it kind of created this new world. It was like kind of like a new, I hate to keep using the same word, but like palette. It was kind of like a new canvas for me to kind of like work with, in a sense. And what I want people to know is, like, I could do, I hate to sound so corny, but I could do anything. Like, I can literally do any type of, whatever I feel, I can put it out, and it's going to sound, you know what I'm saying, genuine. It's going to sound real, authentic, nothing like forced, you know what I'm saying? So I was able to do that when I changed my name. So it kind of gave me that leg up to literally do whatever I feel. I never wanted to be an artist that's kind of like pigeonholed, even with the mental health thing. Like, I am very big into mental health awareness and things like that, but I am not a mental health rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be put in any box, like, in that regard. So I could just do whatever I feel. You know what I mean? I feel like, one, changing my name, and two, just being genuine with whatever I do, people can kind of sense it. Even if it doesn't sound anything like the last project, they know it comes from a good place. So I could pretty much go wherever I want with that.
Mm-hmm, exactly. People can always tell when you're being authentic.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
So I want to talk a little bit about New Orleans. You're from New Orleans. How has the city influenced your music just overall?
I'll say it influenced me in the sense of knowing I got to work hard. Because this is, you know, I'm sure you probably hear it from every rapper you talk to, their respective hometown. But New Orleans is probably the hardest city to make it out of. But it ain't because, like, so many rappers doing it. It's because there's no industry here. There's no hip-hop industry here. There's a bunch of, like, you know, if you do live music, like, you know, if you play an instrument, you have all the options in the world. When it comes to rap music, even given our history with Cash Money and No Limits, there's still no industry here. And a lot of the tastemakers don't necessarily gravitate towards hip-hop. So, you know, it influenced me in the sense of, one, I got to get the hell out of here as often as possible. And two, you know, there is a level, there's like a legacy here, man. Like, we started jazz music, which started pretty much any black genre music you can possibly, from rock and roll to hip hop and everything in between, R&B, so all that came from jazz in some instance, you know what I mean, or it was at least influenced by jazz. So I have a bit of a, you know, I have a legacy to uphold everywhere I go. So it kind of like, not a chip on my shoulder, but it has like, I have like this kind of swagger about me everywhere I move, because I'm from a city with such a rich history, you know what I'm saying? So it lets me know that when I have to work extremely hard, and I always have to be on my A game, no matter where I go, to let people know, yeah, I'm from New Orleans, and everyone that comes from here is really dope. So that's kind of how it influenced me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed on some of your quotes, even something you tweeted earlier today, you were talking about how New Orleans, you said, is like a terrible city for doing hip hop. And I never really knew that so much about the city, because from an outsider's perspective, you look at, like you said, those labels that have had, you know, tremendous impact. But I guess we don't get to see that the industry, like you said, isn't really being built up around the city. And for you personally, is that something you might want to, like, throughout your career try to change, or try to help other artists who may have been in the similar shoes that you have?
Well, I'll say this. First off, I don't have a responsibility to do anything. You know, and I always felt like when certain artists get a name or get money, the first thing that they're quote unquote supposed to do is to go back and, you don't have to do anything, just be whoever you are and die. But yes, I actually do. With that being said, I want to help, man, because how about this? Certain festivals or certain shows, that pop off here in New Orleans, I am the only hip hop representation of that, of the city on these stages, and that's a good and bad thing. Like one, there's certain local festivals that have happened here, and there were, I won't say which one, but there was like 300 acts booked because this is the 300th year of New Orleans' existence. This is our tricentennial, and they only booked one rapper, and that was me. And I felt that was a travesty in a sense. It's like, yo, there's so many dope, rappers coming out of the city that are doing their thing. Why am I the only? Now it shows who I am that they pick me of everyone. So that's really cool. I was very, humbled by that. But yeah, man, I want to get and being that I am the only representation of hip hop, what I do pretty much can be the positive or the detriment to what people think of hip hop. So when I get on these stages, I take it very serious. And so I try to put my best foot forward to let these people know, yo, this isn't what you think it is. It's good. It's clean. My man Stewie says, good, clean rap. That can kind of go across the board. So it opens their eyes and ears enough to be like, well, maybe we should get some more hip hop guys. So in my own way, I am trying to open those doors. Once I get my name up even more than what it already is, I have a bit of influence. I can say, yo, book my man, book my girl over here. They're doing their thing as well. Give them the opportunity. So yeah, in my own way, I would love to help and kind of change the narrative as it pertains to how hip hop is viewed in my city for sure.
Mm-hmm. And certainly, yeah, like you mentioned, it's not your responsibility at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's you got to take care of yourself first. But I see where you would, love to help out other people. It's just for somebody, looking at a place like New Orleans, you think from an outsider's perspective, it just looks like such a diverse city that it's crazy to me that there isn't more help for artists because, like you said, there's definitely like artists you would think of from that city that are doing really amazing things.
Oh, of course, man. People like Currency, man, my girl 3D Not T, D1, all these guys, and that's just on the big underground, and not even talking about the major label players. And to be honest, man, like I'm not even really in any of those circles. I've always felt like, as it pertains to the city, I've kind of been on my own island. Like my entire career, next year 10 years for me doing music. And my entire, I've been a part of some crews. I have friends, obviously, but I've always just kind of been on my own, like, wave. You know what I mean? And I don't mean, like, being different. I just mean literally, like, there's a lot of camps that I've never met, never had any affiliation with. So, like, I can't speak on exactly what they do in their innards and what they're doing, I can only say from what I've seen. And certain guys get picked and plucked from the crews to be the guy and do their thing. But, yeah, there is diversity. And, don't get it twisted. It's not like stale. It's just as it pertains to live performance. Yeah, man, you're going to kind of see the same thing everywhere you go here in the city. But I love New Orleans nonetheless, man. Like, I always rep this city as hard as I can everywhere I go. I'm very proud to be from this wonderful city, man. Like, it just it's a certain flavor, man, that like can't be duplicated. You know what I'm saying? Like everywhere I go, I'm always just proud to be. I'm from the South. You know what I'm saying? I'm very, very proud to be from where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, there is definitely a rich history surrounding that city and the South in general for hip hop. You mentioned you have a tour coming up, and you're gonna be playing some shows all in some different places throughout the U.S. Just going into this tour, what are you looking forward to most?
Well, this is my first tour since this Spotify thing has kind of happened for me. I did a song with Vans. It's called On That, and kind of got a lot of attention. The song's almost at like 30,000 streams on Spotify, and currently right now, Vans is promoting the SoundCloud playlist that they have with the song On That on it, and in 2 days, I think we're at like 16,000 streams. So by the end of this week, we'll be at 30, maybe. You know what I mean? So all these streams, I'm looking at the cities and where some of these plays are coming from, and there are cities that I'm going to. I'm kind of hoping that those plays kind of correlate to some bodies in the room. That's one. This will be my first headliner tour in a minute. I haven't done like and there's only like maybe 8 shows. Now I just added another date today, but there's only like 8 shows, so it's not like a long run at all. But this is just my first time, and I'm going back to certain cities I always go to, like Chicago. I go there like twice a year. Philly, I haven't been to Philadelphia since 2014 when I toured my man Mickey Fax. So I got a lot of supporters out there. So that's what I'm kind of looking forward to, man. Is just kind of seeing old friends. There's people I haven't seen in years. I'm always just happy to get on the road, especially. The past couple weeks haven't been great for me. So now, like, kind of coming back out of that energy and fresh air and like everything kind of tastes good and looks and smells good again. I can't wait to hit the road to kind of bring in some new energy. It just feels good to get the hell out of my city for a while, for sure.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Philly there. I'm in North Philadelphia, so maybe I'll have to stop by that show.
Yeah, man, it's cool. We're at the what's it called, the Barbary.
All right, definitely.
I don't know where exactly that's at. Last time I went, I was at the Fire, which is on, I think, North Girard or something like that.
Mm-hmm,
yeah, man, come through, bro. It'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Sure. I'll definitely try to. I think it's, looking at it right now, it looks like Thursday, November 8th for anyone else that's in Philadelphia that wants to go to that show. And just looking at this tour, what do you, when you finish it up, what do you hope to have taken from the tour and your travels through these cities?
Again, good new energy, man. I'm probably gonna come back and I gotta do a lot of. I think I'm gonna take the month of December off and just do a lot of like administrative work with my manager Tavia, just for the new year and some new things coming in. So really, a little bit of bread. You know what I'm saying? Like, gotta pay the bills, get some money, make some new fans for sure. Have made some new fans and connect with them on social media and let them know. My biggest thing, man, whenever I hit the road is always like, hey, I know, my fans will come out, but like for the new people that have maybe never heard of me, it's like, yo, check me out. Like I got a lot of stuff going on, like some real, you're kind of joining a wave right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not, it's what isn't like a fluke that I'm out here. Like I'll probably be back in like 6 months type deal. So it's always connected with new supporters, let them know what we got going on. And just, man, killing every single show, bro, whether it's 10 people in the crowd or if it's 100 or if it's 1,000, bro, like, I always just want to kill it. I take great pride in my live show. Like, I don't play games with the live show because that's how I eat. So for me, I just want everyone to say, who's ever heard of Alfred Banks, just be like, yo, that dude's dope. Like, from the music to the live show to the sneakers, like, all that. Like, he's a dope dude, you know?
Yeah, well, certainly. And got to be excited to head in for that. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview, Alfred.
For sure, man. I appreciate the opportunity, man, for real.
Yeah, I really enjoyed talking with you. I really enjoyed your music as well. I'll be listening to that more because I just started listening to it in the past couple of days, but I added that on Apple Music and some SoundCloud stuff, so I'm definitely going to be listening to that.
Thank you. I'll be dropping my first live project like in January, too, so watch out for that. It'll be really cool.
Oh, that's cool. I always like a good live album.
Yeah, I've never done it, and a lot of my favorite rappers have, or favorite artists, I should say, have. I was like, yo, you know what? I stumbled on a guy who just ran up on me. He was like, yo, I recorded your whole set live, man. Why don't you check it out? And I listened. I was like, yo, this is great. So might as well put it out and see what happens. So.
Yeah, there you can get that different energy like you were talking about. And like if you put so much pride into your live show, why wouldn't you want as many people to hear that as possible?
Exactly. Mundo, good sir. Exactly.
Well, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your night.
No, you as well, man.
Again, a big thank you to Alfred for coming onto the podcast. Remember to check out his Mere Exposure Effect EP. Check out his tour dates. I have the links to all of that, including his own website, his SoundCloud. All of that great stuff is in the description, whether you're listening on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, or YouTube. You can check out those links in the description of this podcast. With that, that'll wrap it up for this edition of the Anything Goes with Jackson Neill podcast. Thanks again for listening, guys. Remember, you can check this podcast as well as the Jackson Neill Music and Sports podcast in the same feed you're listening to right now. So just why not subscribe to that on your favorite platform? Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JacksonNeill20 for additional content. You can find those links in the description of this as well. Got a lot of great interviews coming up. Don't want you guys to miss that. And thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you all next time.